Hi everybody, I'm JT. Welcome to another video from me here at Campervan Journey. You join us somewhere in the middle of France. So quite often at the Utopia campsites they have a sort of regional farmers market with regional producers coming to sell their wares, and yesterday evening Claire managed to get us some of these lovely lamb steaks, shoulder steaks, what are they marinated in? Stuff. They've been well marinated
in stuff
for at least 24 hours and they look lovely. So tonight's special treat for what is our last night here in Vaudeville before we move on is a very nice lamb shoulder steak or two. One each, 3. They are super chunky. Very nice. Hope you can see that. I'm sorry you're not going to be able to smell it. They do look amazing. They taste half as good as they look. We're on to a winner. And a little drop of vin d'Alsace. Just a cheap local wine from the supermarket. I can hear thunder again. Hopefully it's not going to turn to anything. Now look at that. Doesn't that look lovely? Couscous, potato salad and those lovely lamb chops. This wine's pretty good as well, isn't it, Harry? So we've just decided to start to pack our stuff up. We're leaving tomorrow anyway. It's 10 past 8. We just enjoyed those lovely lamb chops, but it's starting to thunder again, so let's put anything packed up and away in the boot of the garage of the new van. So that's all done, and then if it is raining in the morning we've got next to nothing to do. There's so little to do, which is brilliant, which is one of the things we were looking for when we changed to the new van. But I've just packed up a chair, we just folded down the table, folded up a ground sheet, and to be honest that's about it. So another big tick in the box for changing the van. Sorry if I sound like a stuck record, but as you can guess, we're really pleased. Observant amongst you, you may well have noticed that we've swapped pitches. Basically we've moved next door. There was an awful lot of rain on, what night is it? Today's Friday, so Wednesday night, and again last night. When we came back from our day out yesterday and parked on our pitch, the ground, it became apparent that the ground was very, very soft under the wheels. So whilst we were trying to move around, even at very low speed, the wheels were spinning up and causing some quite deep grooves, which I knew just meant that if we had more rain overnight last night, it was going to make it difficult for us to leave today. So fortunately our German neighbours had moved on, so we were able to just swap from the original pitch, fresh with its furrowed ground, next door to something which is a little bit more solid underfoot. And we did have another big storm last night, so I think having inspected the ground where we originally were, it's still very, very soft, in fact probably more so than it was. So Fingers crossed we'll be able to get out of this pitch without any drama. But this is pretty hard ground, and then we've just got to get up the slope in front of us. So I'm sure our new van and our all-season tyres will see us through. Stay tuned to find out. It's the lady from the boulangerie. Bonjour. So it's Friday morning. We've stayed here in Vautvilla for an extra night than we'd originally planned, just because, well, because A, it's a very nice campsite, B, it was very hot, so having the shade has been a real boon, and access to the pool has been really nice as well. But it's time to move on. So today we're going to be heading off to our next destination. Now originally we were planning on heading west to Germany, but a lot of the storms that we've been having here have migrated westwards. So having thought about it, we're going to change our plans completely, which is the benefit of being in the van we can do. So we're going to head across to central France and head down towards, I think we're going to head down towards the Dordogne, where we've been before. The weather down there is supposed to be much, much better. So that's our plan. Just going to have some breakfast, get the final bits and pieces packed up, and then head on our way. Okay, so before we leave, I promised I'd tell you a little bit and show you a little bit of the campsite here at Utopia Vautvilla. So we've been staying here for 3 nights in the campervan with 3 of us, so 2 adults and a child, and it's cost us a 120 euros, so it's 40 euros a night. So not the cheapest campsite in the world, but the facilities that Utopia provide are really, really good, very clean, lots of things to do, really nice pool, very clean and plentiful toilets and showering facilities, and if the bad weather does come, you've got the central centre de vie, or the central lodge, with games and table football and TV and Wi-Fi for those if you are in a tent and not able to or want to seek shelter. The site itself is pretty big. It's deceptive, really. This is the top. This road is the one that runs up to the Grand Ballon, where we went a couple of days ago, and we're pitched all the way down the bottom here, and then each of these terraces snake their way up to the top, and this is quite steep, but all of this area is within woodland, so very nice, sheltered and peaceful. Our pitch, or 2 pitches, have been really big, and just looking around at the other pitches that we've passed, and I'll show you a couple of others in a moment, they're an equally good size. This is where we were staying when we first came, just up here. And if you're a campervan or motorhome user, then there's facilities to empty your services. There's a lovely outside cafe area. One of the nicest pools, I think, that we've come across at any of the Utopia sites. A cafe bar. So you can sit and relax, get away from the weather. Table football, Wi-Fi, and games. So we've definitely enjoyed our few days here, and it'd be very easy just to spend all of our break here, but time to move on, but we'll definitely be back. So you can check out the Utopia website, Google it. This video is not sponsored by them, they haven't given me any discount. We just love coming to these sites, so a genuine, honest review. And as they said when we checked in, said, oh, you've been to these sites 23 times over the last few years. So there you go. If that's not proof of making them a worthwhile visit, I don't know what is. Let's attempt our ascent. Stage 1 complete. Stage 2 complete, past the monster pothole. This way is slightly longer but less steep. First péage of the day. Do have to remember now to go through the taller gates. As in California, you go through the 2 metre ones. So we're heading west to Bagnac, which is 700 kilometres and about 7 hours, so we're not going to do that in a day. So split into 2 days and find somewhere to stop this evening. Stop and have some lunch in a bit and work out where our halfway point is going to be. For our lunch today, or a quick pit stop, not very glamorous, but easy and convenient. There's loads of these on the auto routes, just ready for a break, and more importantly, ready for lunch. There's a massive hole in it.
What would you like?
What would I like?
Welcome to my kiosk.
Welcome to your kiosk. Is it possible to have a baguette avec jambon et fromage?
Oui.
C'est bon.
C'est possible.
Merci. So we've had our lunch and we've checked out our France Passion guidebook, and we've selected a couple of hopeful stopovers which are about another hour and a half or so further on from where we are. So fingers crossed one of them will have space for us for this evening. So here we are, we've arrived at our stopover for the night, our second France Passion stopover of our trip, and it's a farm. So it's a working farm and it's run by a family. There are spaces here for 5 campers, and just pulled up, park up, there's some very basic instructions or information about facilities in the local area, but we're free to stop here for free for the night, which is brilliant. So we've got I don't know if you hear in the background, there's geese. Claire's already made friends with the dog, and I'm sure there's lots of other animals around, but as we drove in there was some nice little country lanes, the very last bit of the trip in, so on the edge, it's right on the edge of the town, but looking forward to spending the evening here. Well, as I said, Claire's made friends with the farm dog. So we are in a French farmyard, enjoying some free camping courtesy of France Passion, and a beautiful sunset and a lovely meal. So good morning, welcome to our latest France Passion stopover, where we've stayed on this farm on a village on the edge of our, I'll put the name up on the screen as to where we're staying, but pulled up the space for parking amongst the noisy guinea fowl. But yeah, there's space here for 5 vans. We just pulled up yesterday evening around about 4:30, and it's a halfway point effectively on our trip all the way across France from one side to the other, almost from Vaudeville to the Dordogne, where we're heading now. And this was a good point part way to break the journey up, park up for the night. But the facilities, again, like these France Passion sites, very basic, but we're completely self-contained, which is the key thing. So when you're using these stop-offs, you've got to have all of your own services available to you. But you're provided with space to park. It's all safe. I'd say quiet, but the guinea fowl have been pretty noisy. It did quieten down in the night, and at 5 o'clock this morning a cockerel was waking us up. But it's a lovely little rural spot, and no charge. This is a working farm. They make various little, I think it's mustard that they're making, amongst other things. So there's a little shop if you wanted to buy something, you can do that. But we're going to have some breakfast and then head on our trip off towards the Dordogne. I think I just upset the guinea fowl. They were getting a bit agitated when I got down there. I started running around like headless chickens, all going. So we're all packed up after breakfast, or half a breakfast, because we haven't had a pan au chocolat as yet. We're going to stop off at a bakery and pick one of those up. And Claire picked up some, oh, you put them in the fridge, packed them up, picked up some eggs from the farm, some freshly laid eggs. So we'll enjoy those for a meal later on. But so next thing to do is to hit the road, head west, continue heading west towards the Dordogne. Oh, and pick up some pan au chocolat on the way, and some bread.
One of the great things of travelling in France, in a campervan, is if you want to do long distances, the autoroutes are so much better than the motorways we have back in the UK. So today we're going to travel the best part of 500 kilometres from one side of France to the other, and the autoroutes are very direct routes, very smooth, well managed, well maintained, and a very efficient way of covering large distances quickly. Combine that with the Immerse toll tag that we have fitted to the windscreen, so when there are tolls to pay, then we can just go through quickly and easily. Some people prefer not to travel on the toll routes and save them money in toll charges, but you might say it's taking you longer to travel, potentially using more fuel because you're going further. So there are definitely pros and cons of each way. If we had unlimited time, then we probably would travel less on the autoroutes and enjoy more of the local roads and villages and towns. On the time you're away and you need to get somewhere quickly, the autoroutes are hard to get.
One of the new jobs we're having to get used to with the new van is disposal of waste. Now, I guess this is part of the deal that I had with Claire when we upgraded to a van, particularly with a toilet, is that I would take responsibility of emptying the waste. So in France, it's really easy to do. In most towns, and certainly all campsites have got disposal facilities for motorhomes. So we've just stopped in Givry. There's a very basic waste disposal facility here, but not very nice. But a hole in the ground to pour your toilet waste, and then water supplies on the side here. Our water tank has got enough water in to last us for now, so we're not going to fill up with water here. But generally speaking, these are free. But I think the water for this one, there's a charge. Say a charge. It says you need a jeton, but I don't know where you get a jeton from. That will give you 100 litres of water. But we're okay for water for now, so we'll leave that. And whilst I've been doing this delightful job, Claire's gone off to see if she can find a boulangerie to find some pain au chocolat. So how about this for a view for our lunchtime stop? We were going to pull into the air, which is literally just behind us here, but it's really, really busy. So they're queuing to get in, so we've decided to pull up on one of the roads off the roundabout approaching the air. And we've got this wonderful panoramic view of the Auvergne volcanic landscape, which is fantastic. So just going to have our baguettes for lunch, enjoy the view for a bit, and then continue on our journey. That is a stunning view.
Some nice cheese to go with it.
And some nice cheese to go with it. Would you like some ham in your baguette?
Yes, please.
Yeah. And I know I say it lots and lots of times in many of my videos, but without a camper van, we wouldn't be seeing that. We wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be parked up here, we wouldn't have the side door open making our lunch. So,
Good idea to get a van.
Doesn't matter how flash, how fancy, how expensive, how old, how new, a camper van can bring you something like that
Whole new experience.
for your Saturday lunchtime. A treat. What other treats have we got left, Harry?
These.
Alsatian biscuits.
And
These were the ones from the top of the Grand Ballon, weren't they?
they were.
Honey biscuits. Ooh, and then
The leckerlis, which is German for delicious.
leckerlis. Delicious bits of
Stuff.
squidge. So we're going to continue now back on to rejoin the auto route and continue heading towards Dordogne, down the A89. We're still about good 3 hours away, about 300 kilometres, so just contemplating whether we perhaps stop somewhere an hour or so before we get there for the night, rather than try and get all the way there and then try and find somewhere when we arrive. So we'll see how that pans out. The weather's good, it's warm and dry, but it's surprisingly busy today. I don't know if it's something to do with French holidays or just that it's Saturday, but we're making good progress and enjoying this lovely scenery. So after quite a lot of travelling today, I think we've probably done about 4.5 hours and certainly a good 400 odd kilometres. We've arrived in a very small hamlet, probably is the best word to describe it, called Ligny-en-Rac, which is right on the edge of the Corrèze region of France, which borders Dordogne. So we decided not to go all the way down to Bagnac, which was where we were heading for, as we were quite late in the day. We were hoping to try and book ourselves into another campsite for a couple of days so we could enjoy a pool and some hot showers, although we have a cosy shower in the van. And having had such success with France Passion on this trip, we thought we'd try another one, and I'm going to show you, but it is just, they keep getting better and better. So this is the view from our pitch. So some vines, some walnut trees. It's a 19th century farm building. The family specialise in walnut and chocolate produce, which I'm hoping we'll get the chance to try out tomorrow before we go. And it's idyllic. There's space here for 5 vans. The host just said park wherever you like. Their little farmhouse is just over here. And aside from the noise of a donkey, it's super, super quiet. But what a spot. So I'm sure it's going to be a really nice night. Thank you, France Passion. So I hope you enjoyed that latest instalment of our trip to Europe this summer. If you did, please remember to hit the button to like and subscribe, and join us on the next video coming very, very soon, where you'll find out, as well as we'll find out, where we end up. Thanks for watching.